are another team looking for their first title. Very competent under DC Jesse Minter. The Chargers allowed the fewest points per game, and opponents were least likely to punch it in from the red zone. It was the first time the Chargers led the league in opponent points per game since they won an AFL championship in 1963. Hawk, what's got to happen for Coach Harbaugh and the Bolts to win this year's Super Bowl?
They got to keep that trend going on defense. And with Justin Herbert, the thing that you saw from Justin Herbert a year ago, he was a lot more of an efficient QB where we've seen him as a gunslinger. They put him in the shotgun and let him throw it all over the yard. Okay, so last year he's shown the ability to be efficient and very effective. But that's not why you have him. He's a big play waiting to happen. So if he can build on what we saw a year ago with that efficiency, you know Harbaugh's going to want to run the ball. But if he can build on that and still make some lightning and some exciting and down-the-field plays, then I think the Chargers will have enough to get over the hump.
Okay. First off, listen. With Justin Herbert, he is obviously an elite quarterback, and having him be really efficient, you can get over the hump with him being really efficient, wanting to run the ball, play great defense, and having him manage these games. I mean, you want him to be able to throw the ball over the field and have these big plays and whatnot. But the Chargers, in a way, kind of had that, but it was like they needed it from Justin Herbert just to survive, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough for any quarterback. You got Joe Burrow making massive plays all over the field, throwing the ball 10,000 yards and 1,000,000 touchdowns and doing all this type of stuff. Didn't even get into the playoffs. So it's more than that. It's more than that. And it's so fascinating to me because I just made a video about this. Talking about this with regards to the Chicago Bears, actually. Because a lot of people are talking about the Bears and what are the expectations for them now that they have Ben Johnson and second-year quarterback Caleb Williams and all of that. And it really reminded me of the bootleg takes about the Chargers. Specifically from First Things First and Nick Wright, pretty much trying to create this false scenario when going into the playoffs. It was like, no more excuses for Justin Herbert. He's got Harbaugh. He's got the defense. And it's just like, there's no excuses for him not to win. And it's like, that's such nonsense because this team is obviously a work in progress. This team was an absolute disaster the season before Harbaugh took over. Like they have to revamp the defense. They have to revamp the offense. They have to revamp everything. They have to revamp the franchise, the culture, everything. Okay. This is the first real coach, like the actual true first real established coach that Justin Herbert has ever had in the NFL. And it's just like these things take time, and it's going to take Harbaugh a second. And then this idea that like they just need to immediately from the jump, I guess, like win a Super Bowl is kind of insane here. And, having Harbaugh now is what is the perfect antidote. And I love Hawk. And I'm not saying that you're not going to have Herbert as like a game breaker over here, and that he's not going to be throwing the ball all over the field and have these awesome moments here. But like that's what happens when you lose sight of like what winning football is and what it takes. And Harbaugh understands this so much, and he's consistently understood this. Harbaugh has been very much like, I'm not here to send a message. I've talked about this especially with the Eagles recently too, where it's like, I'm not here to send a message. I'm not here to try to do anything super fancy, super innovative. I'm not trying to do this, that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to win football games, man. I do not care what it looks like. I do not care if I have the greatest quarterback in the history of the universe. I'm just going to do whatever we need to do in order to win football games. It's that simple. It's that fundamental. I don't care if my quarterback throws the ball 10 times a game or 100 times a game. It's just like whatever needs to happen to win games, and we are going to be as consistent as we possibly can at doing so. And I really love that. I really appreciate that. It's very boring in a lot of ways, honestly. Which is why there's the people that are kind of like, let's get to the excitement. Let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, no. If you could have a defensive-led team with a physical run game and an elite quarterback like Justin Herbert, bro, you're going to win a lot of games, man. You're going to win a lot of games. A lot of games, okay? And in the moments when you need someone like Justin Herbert to step up, he can. He can. It's starting to feel like that is going to be going to be the new formula for winning, at least for now, for this short little window. Before it was like defense, defense, defense. And then it was like, no, 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 no. Offense. We're changing the rules. You can't hit the quarterback. You can't hit in the middle of the field. Offense, offense, offense. And it's like, running is actually less important. Throw, 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 throw. No, you need hyper mobile quarterbacks. The more mobile a quarterback, the better. And it's like, no, 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 no. Now it's actually more balanced. And it's like, no, no, no. Run game. No, no, no. Back to being defense. And it's always something, something, something. And now it feels like you want a defense that can just absolutely get after the opposing quarterback. You want a hard run game, and you want to keep your quarterbacks throwing to like 20 to 25 times a game. You know, gone are the days when you want a quarterback throwing the ball like 45 times a game. And it's just like, for now, right? For now, like that's the way it kind of feels like. And that's kind of what Harbaugh has kind of continued through this trajectory. And that's what he's done with JJ McCarthy and whatnot, you know, and it's just, I see that continue. You saw that even with who, you know, what they were looking to do in the draft, what they've done in previous drafts, free agency, et cetera, et cetera. So like, I don't think this team is constructed around how do we magnify Herbert's greatness. I don't know if that's the mentality right now. And I'm not so sure if that should be the mentality for any quarterback in the NFL right now. I have to think about it more. You know, are the Bills the best when they magnify Josh Allen's greatness? I don't know. You know, I'm not sure. Or the Bengals magnified Joe Burrow's greatness. Did not work out. Lamar Jackson, his greatness was magnified last season. Did not work out. And it's not to say that it's just because you don't win means it was a failure. Like, I'm not saying that either. Winning Super Bowls is hard. You could be an amazing team. It could be a wildly successful year. Great coaching, great players, great roster, still lose, just the way it goes. So I'm not using this all or nothing thinking, but it is interesting. It is interesting. In a lot of ways, I'm looking for everyone else but Justin Herbert to elevate, to step up, to be highlighted, to be magnified, to be heightened, to grow. I'm looking for more boring games from Justin Herbert rather than that's an MVP season. He's thrown 45 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 4,300 yards. It's like, I'm actually not looking for that. And don't get me wrong, it would be great to have. And Justin Herbert would love to have it. Like, I'm not doubting that. And I'm not doubting that he can't do it. And don't twist these words. It's like, oh, well, they got to hide Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert's elite, make no mistake about it. But it just seems, considering how this team wants to play, and again, 17 points per game, it's like the name of the game, again, is just smart, controlled football in that regard. It's not an explosive offense. It's not throwing the ball all over the field. It's just not. So I'm fascinated to see what year 2 looks like with Harbaugh and Herbert. You know, I'm fascinated to see if they, you know, if I'm wrong with what I predict in terms of like how this offense will look. You know, if it's going to be a lot more centered around Herbert. I'm fascinated. I don't think it will be. And again, I'm not going to act like I know exactly how Harbaugh is going to manage this right here, but I'm definitely excited, and I definitely believe in the Chargers wholeheartedly. So that's why I'm kind of just like, don't, you know, just because you have a special quarterback doesn't mean you need to highlight his special, you know, week after week after week. So we will see. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chargers and how this team will evolve? What are you expecting out of Herbert this coming season? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.